All-Ireland hurling final replay. Kilkenny leading Galway 1 goal and 11 points to 2 goals and 4 points. Liam Sheedy, Gerlach Nan, Tomas Mulcahy here with me in the studio. Ger, as far as I estimate, Galway have not scored any point from play in that first half. Not good enough for an All-Ireland final?
Yeah, but there's no reason to panic yet. No. All the speculation before this game started was who would start the best. Now, Kilkenny started the better of the two. There were 5 points to 2 up after 15 minutes, but more than that, they were dominating possession all over the field. The backs were totally bossing the Galway forwards, and the Kilkenny forwards looked really, really dangerous, even though they didn't always finish off. Then we had the 3-minute burst when we had the 3 goals in the 3 minutes. David Buxton and Richie Powell. And then by the 25th minute, you said Kilkenny are going to run away with this. The danger was they get another goal. They were 6 points up. If they got another goal, the game was over. Now after that, Galway have gradually come back into the game. Kilkenny have missed easy chances of points. Kilkenny haven't scored a point. Have only scored 1 point since the 25th minute. So in the last 11 minutes, they haven't scored. Galway have kind of got their way back into the game, even though they don't deserve to be back into the game. And now they're only 4 points down at half time without having hurled, having scored a point from. So really, you know, they're still not in a bad position. They're lucky the game isn't over, you know. So the game is still there for the taking if they come out with a really more positive, more confident approach now in the second half.
Even if they haven't gone particularly well, Kilkenny have played well in that first half. Galway still got a couple of breaks. The 2 goals, for example. David Burke's first one really roused the crowd here.
They were huge scores, because it was a time where they were really struggling for anything of note to happen. And you know, as I said, they look to be really under pressure. But again, you know, it just shows the long ball mentality. You know, when it's in around the square, you know that anything can happen. In fairness to Damien Hayes, I think he's done an awful lot of burrowing there, and you know, picked up by Earl Tanyan, and it's, you know, let's be honest, it's a little bit of a miss hit, but that's a fierce, dangerous ball. And in fairness to David Burke, he gets a great flick, and it gets inside Jackie Turling, gets a great flick. And I think the disappointing thing from a Galway point of view was that TJ Reid had the ball back over the bar before they even knew it, you know. But that was a huge score for them, and you know, you would have expected them to kick on, but you know, between the 17 to 27 minute, Kilkenny outscored Galway 1-5 to no score within that period, and that's really where they've done the serious damage in that first half.
If that goal was a boost to Galway, they got another absolute boost when Burke got another one.
Yeah, this was a cracking goal, but after the first goal, I mean, the reaction from Kilkenny was incredible, because they went up the field and TJ Reid got a score, and I mean, this is probably, look, some people might say it could have been a free in there, you know, I mean, once or twice. But when they win possession, they get out the field. Joe is the man that gets it, right? Again, not a position I like to see him back in defence, but it's a great catch inside, and it's great interpassing. And David Burke, that's a fantastic finish. And you would say, yes, that is going to drive Galway on, right? They've not been in the game, they haven't had a whole lot of possession, but they've breached that Kilkenny defence again by scoring goals. And I mean, Ger is right, this game, I mean, we've seen Galway in all their matches, taking it from the start, going 7-8 points ahead. They now find themselves in a different position for the first time. It's not a bad position to be in, 4 points down at half-time, and as Kilkenny have done all the hurling. The hooking, the blocking, you see Shefflin out there as centre forward, the running they do, but you've got to maintain that for 70 minutes.
Galway band, the Stunning, are playing in Croke Park here at the moment, playing, brewing up a storm. Galway were brewing up a storm at that stage, but then the wind changed and Kilkenny came back at them with that goal.
That goal put them 3 points up, right? But just a minute later, this happened. You know, the usual thing with Kilkenny, you know, when you least expected it, when Kilkenny most lead, I should say. Now here's the man that's playing well today, his own lock, and the first 25 minutes anyway. Now James Cahill blocks it out, he's slow to come out of it, and Richie Power is right there, and he just taps it into the net. That's always the danger with Kilkenny. You know, the slightest a man left loose, Richie left loose there in the corner. The only man who's near him is Earl Tanyan, who's their midfielder. So all the backs sucked in to take on Larkin coming in. The ball breaks out, but definitely the goalie is not at his best.
I think it clearly illustrates about the goalie situation. I mean, there's 2 or 3 balls have gone in there, Michael. He's very good on the puck outside of it. He's delivering good ball, but when it's coming, he's failed to catch. That was a ball that actually could have taken in his hand. 2 or 3 balls that spilled out. He actually failed to go and pick them. He kicked one, I think, out over the end line on one side. It is a difficult position for their management to be in at this stage. Do they bring this man back out again for the second half period? Because another spill like that will result in the ball in the back of the net. Big call.
Yeah, we were watching him just going off actually, Liam, at half time, and he didn't look entirely comfortable with himself. As Tomas said there, he was very tentative, just kind of looking at him in that first half.
Yeah, look at
Same here.
Yeah, I mean, it's very clear he's playing through the pain barrier. You know, there's no doubt about it. I mean, the guy isn't 100%. Like that's been honest about it. But the other side of it is, I think he's
Either that or he's saying, you must be joking, I'm not coming off.
Yeah, well, I'd say that's probably what he is saying. I mean, you know, I think his puck outs have been reasonably good. I think, you know, he's been getting that whatever distance he's comfortable hitting the ball 80, 100. But it's just when it comes in around the square, there's a little bit of uneasiness.
But I mean, there's obviously there's a lack of trust. There's a lack of trust in the reserve goalkeeper. I mean, I think
exactly, you're right.
There's a lack of trust there that they haven't brought in
because
the sub goalkeeper in a play on that.
You see going on there actually is Colm Canlon who is talking to him. Colm Canlon is not even on the panel. He's just brought in for the day as a sub to the sub goalie. So it seems to me that they will not bring on Fergal Flannery, but they'll bring on Colm Canlon, who hasn't played with him all year.
Seems absolutely
But the
correct.
changes that Galway have made, Tomas, in that first half haven't been James Scahill. They've been out the field. And there's a couple of examples of Galway spinning possession, having possession of the ball, giving it away, and Kilkenny getting points out of it.
Yeah, that's very evident in the first half, Michael, as well. When they had clean possession.
Just took two, for example, here, Larkin and
but again, though,
Richie
Michael,
Power.
look, you can say that's a bad play by the centre back or Tanya, but it's great play by Richie Hogan to get out there to get the hook in, and that's what Brian Cody would be emphasising with their forwards all for the last 3 weeks. The work rate wasn't good enough. Again, a ball here to Damien Hayes. I think it goes backwards here with a hand pass. It's intercepted by Richie Power, I think. Or Richie Power now will come on to it again. But I mean, it's just the work rate here, look. And this is a great touch by Richie Power and a great score. And this is giving Kilkenny a new lease of life. I mean, it's something that they missed. John mentioned about it before the game, that there will be more physical intensity coming from Kilkenny. And that's very, very evident.
We're headed for a short break here on the programme. Back with more on today's All-Ireland.
Michael, welcome back. Cyril, what did you think of the first half?
Well, Derek, Kilkenny have done all the hurling. They've got 12 scores to go with 6, but they're still only 4 points up. They'll be wondering how to knock more. Galway really need to kind of cut loose. They're playing very tentative, but you'd have to say over the first 35 minutes that Kilkenny are kind of bossing the game, and it's important that Galway come out and kind of take the game to them. So far, Kilkenny are kind of dictating the pattern of the game.
Eddie, what have you made of Kilkenny's first half?
Yeah, they've come out of the blocks a lot faster. The few fellas, I suppose, I spoke about before the match are really doing the business, and for me, Richie Hogan is the key man there at the moment, and it's his work rate more than anything else. He has caught a couple of great balls. He has dispossessed 2 Galway defenders for scores, but they seem to just have a bit more, their body language is a lot better today, and they're not waiting around for someone to do it. They're all going at it, and there's a lot more space in the Galway back unit, which Kilkenny haven't done in the 2 occasions they've met him already.
Lads, Kilkenny back out. We've got to go back upstairs to Michael. Thanks. We'll talk to you at the end of the match, lads. Thank you.
Yeah, just to remind you, it is Kilkenny 111, Galway 2-4 subs on the Galway team, and the sub goalie is on as well. For more information on that, let's go back to Ger Canning and Michael Duignan.
Yeah, we've just been looking at the sub goalie, as you say, and Fergal Flannery is the sub goalkeeper for Kilkenny, wearing number 16, so he's in there in place of James Scahill. There was a suggestion that Colm Calnan might also have come into the reckoning, but I don't think that has been the case. Meanwhile, it's Richie Hogan advancing, and the keeper could be in business here straight away, called into the action. That one has run out over the end line, and it's gone wide.
Well, Gerard, I think if you look at that, there's some. Kevin Hines lost his hurl, but he stayed with Richie Hogan. I'm not sure if he didn't hook him with his arm. We might see a replay in a second here, but great defending, and really Richie Hogan was odds on to score a goal there and maybe put this game away. If you watch it here, Kevin Hines lost the hurl. He's following in here, and Richie Hogan looks like all he's doing. Look at Kevin Hines there, just got back, and great defending, and the ball has gone wide.
Ball pucked out into the Galway half-forward line towards Johnny Glynn in there, taken instead by Damien Hayes. Back out here as far as David Collins into open space. Every so often there are big goal chances appearing there, and this time the defence holds firm, and it's JJ Delaney able to take that one away. But I think a number of the Kilkenny fans' hearts in the mouth time. Out it comes once again towards David Collins. Galway needing a good second half and a good start to the second half. That's across towards Joe Cooney. Joe Cooney Jr., that is, into top of the right, and this race for possession is going to be won by Paul Murphy here. The young army man, all-star, had a great season last year, doing very well in his second championship year. All the way into midfield. Once again it's taken here by Tony O'Gregan. Back up into the corner once again, and this time there is a man in the corner, and this time it's Cyril Donlan going across, trying to take on Paul Murphy, making an angle for himself, trying to eat into that half-time lead of 4 points, not succeeding there.
Yeah, you'd have to say, Jared, the Galway shooting, has been so poor. They've scored no ball from play. I see David Hurley here, he dropped the ball, and when the ball goes in there, in around the full forward line, Galway do look dangerous. Look like, you know, they've had a few goals, got the 2 goals, had a couple of more chances, and but really, you know, they need to start winning a bit of possession and knocking over a couple of simple scores from play, because you can't win in Ireland not scoring from play.
Again, the ball is caught in midfield by Galway. Again, it's Joe Canning who's got in there to try and take the possession, leaving one man short inside, however, and it's Tommy Welch who emerges with this out as far as Jackie Tyrrell. Big long one down towards Richie Hogan once again. He's having quite a match, causing major problems, and underlining that with a lovely point here, point in each half for the very talented Richie Hogan, and really a big handful for Kevin Hines down there.
Yeah, absolutely, and very strong in the air, as Eddie Brennan said there at half-time. He's won a couple of great balls, and he's, you know, I think he's 5'7", 5'8". One possession there again, and simple score, tapped it over the bar, and that's the difference between the teams. Kilkenny are scoring freely.
And Kilkenny's work rate is very impressive this afternoon. Really trying to work for a victory if they can get that. That's down by Jonathan Glynn as far as David Collins. They try to cut it out there. Michael Fennelly trying to do so. Niall Burke going back, going further away from goal, missing his touch. Into help came Earl Itanian. Trying to play it out here was Killian Buckley. Finally it's back with Andy Smith, and a chance of a score here for Andy Smith, and he's put it over the bar. Beautifully done. He's a great driving force in midfield, Andy Smith, and that's his first point, and Galway's first point of the match to come from play.
That's right, Ger, and you remember the first day Andy scored the first point from play after about 8 minutes. They hadn't scored. It was a hugely important score, and I think that score again, you know, they have to try to build on that now and win possession, Galway, if they want to get back into this game.
Still 4 between them. TJ Reid out at left half forward now here, going this way and that to try and hold on to it across towards Walter Welch. Had a good first half. He'll be very pleased with his debut. Slipping it back out to the captain, Owen Larkin. Trying to advance. Difficult one here for Richie Hogan to get the stick to. He did well. The backs converge on it. It stays in play. Johnny Cohen tries to slip away with it, shouldered by Walter Welch. And the referee sees a Kilkenny player on the ground, and he's blown his whistle. And the referee has noted the umpire who called for a 65. The ball had gone out. So 2 65s in the space of the opening 4 minutes of this second half. Kilkenny still in front by those 4 points.
But you can see Kilkenny going for the jugular. Richie Hogan, first of all, after half-time, headed for the goals. The same with Owen Larkin there. He could have tapped over a point, but he went for the goals. A good save by Fergal Flannery, but this move of Walter Walsh, I think, onto Johnny Cohen has been, you know, crucial in how the game has developed so far. He's dominating and winning possession and keeping Johnny Cohen out of the game. And
Cohen hasn't been taken off him. Henry Shefflin hitting, and inevitably Henry Shefflin putting it over the bar from the 65. So that's 6 points now for Henry Shefflin, and Kilkenny's lead stretches to 5. Early stages of the second half.
Yeah, great strike, and Fergal Flannery, in fairness, stood his ground, and a good save. I think it was just here Michael Fennelly just knocked out Johnny Cohen out over the line. I'm not sure if the ball went over the line though.
From that puck out into the half forwards once again. This time it is Brian Hogan. Over there came Killian Buckley, shouldered hard. Niall Burke got onto it, comes back out again into the middle of the field. They wait for it there, in particular Tony O'Gregan, and incensed Richie Power. Didn't like the decision, but it's going to be a free to Galway. Referee James McGrath whistling, and they still continue there with their argument, Richie Power and Tony O'Gregan. It's going to be a free, and it'll be Joe Canning who will take it.
Yeah, we just see Galway, you know, they're so casual, Gerard, since, you know, that's about the 4th or 5th time they've been caught in possession. You know, they got a free at the end of that, but just waiting for the ball. At this level, you just can't wait. You have to step into the ball and get to it, and, you know, they've been caught on a number of occasions with possession, and they've handed Kilkenny 3 or 4 points up to now.
Well, there shouldn't be any nerves at this stage, but there should be oceans of desire where Galway is concerned. They are 24 years without the Liam McCarthy Cup. Joe Canning, their great talisman, number 14, ready to hit this. 4 points in the first half, and this one has swung away to the left-hand side. It was always offline. It wasn't an easy one, and that sun now is in the eyes of the Galway backs for the second half. Shuddering collision here. Johnny Glynn was one of those involved. The other was Killian Buckley.
Yeah, you know, a lot of those, you know, shoulder to shoulder or into the body, but that was a very, very hard hit, and great block down there. Brian Hogan again, you know, and he's having a super game. He's holding the centre, and Niall Burke not in the game at all at centre forward.
Kilkenny have it back. It's Killian Buckley once again. Oh, what about that for a steal from Johnny Glynn? Got the stick in quickly, knocked it away, but it's going to be Kilkenny's possession. Brilliant defending there by young Johnny Glynn. Only a minor last year. played in this year's Under-21 Championship, where Galway, of course, went under to Kilkenny in the semi-final of that championship. And goalkeeper is on right now. Fergal Flannery was in goal in that match. He's gone on as a second-half sub for James Skehill. Meanwhile, Henry Shefflin striking over his left shoulder, and this one has gone wide. And a little bit of wrestling immediately after that. David Collins involved with Henry Shefflin. Well, he's ferociously competitive, Henry Shefflin, and the referee has come in here now. He's been speaking to his linesman Barry Kelly, who was refereeing, of course, 3 weeks ago.
I'd say it's Andy Smith and Henry Shefflin. There's been a lot of clashes between the two of them off the ball. If you watch here now after the block again, Andy Smith follows through, and the two of them.
Yeah, it was Andy. David Collins came in after that.
Yeah, well, it's unusual. The two of them haven't been carded. You know, Henry Shefflin pulled. I know he retaliated, and you'd imagine both of them should have been booked.
Fergal Flannery, who was Galway's third sub, used. Only to Owen Larkin. Back again it comes for Kilkenny, trying to build another attack here. Walter Welch trying to reach down to his bootlaces to get that ball up. Not easy when you're 6'3", 6'4". Ball comes back up here again, dangerously so, to Damien Hayes. Hayes looking for a bit of room. Back to Cyril Donnellan. Still Donnellan, and the referee has blown his whistle. Doesn't count. The whistle went before the shot, and the goal doesn't count. David Burke's incensed. All the Galway fans all around Croke Park are annoyed by that, but the whistle did go, and there wasn't any advantage given.
I know it did, Ger, but you'd have to say Damien Hayes was more fouled, I'd say, than Cyril Donnellan, and Donnellan was true, you know, given the benefit. Damien Hayes was definitely pulled back there. It should have been a free. It wasn't given. Then he gets out here, gives the ball here now. Donnellan breaks through. And like, where was the foul there? He just broke the tackle. There was no foul, and
it probably was for the earlier one. So 5 points still between them rather than 2. Joe Canning is going to take this free. It is a big call.
It's a big call at this stage. He'll probably tap it over the bar.
The angle is a bit tight for him, so he does do exactly that. And now it's 5 points for Joe Canning. And there's still a little row going on off the ball, heating up very, very considerably here.
That's a big turning point in the game, Jerry. You know, there was a long time between the time that Damien Hayes was fouled and from the time he blew the whistle for Cyril Donnellan. They're two separate incidents, and as far as I can see, Cyril Donnellan wasn't fouled. He just broke the tackle and buried the ball, and I think that the free shouldn't have been given.
Goal never counted anyway, and 1 point for Joe Canning rather than 3 for Galway. Line ball coming up for Kilkenny, this one to be taken by Michael Fennelly. And the fans now raising the noise level very considerably. In as far as Henry Shefflin. Shefflin beats his man Cooney, who goes after him. And Shefflin takes too many steps, and it's a free out. The decision going against Henry Shefflin. Free to Galway. Chance for them to launch another attack. It's taken quickly by Tony O'Gregan. Into those forwards who look to have plenty of scores among them if they can get decent ball in there in front of David Herity's goal. 2 goals from play in the first half. They're appealing this one here, in particular Cyril Donnellan. Linesman is there is John Sexton from Cork, originally from Limerick. And it's a line ball given to Galway.
Yeah, interesting to see. I think it might have been the other way, but Cyril Donnellan let it go as if it was a Galway ball, but I thought it might have come off himself. We'll see.
Anthony Cutting about a word there with the linesman. It's Joe Canning who's going to take it. Well, he's been known to put these over. Can he do so? He certainly can. Oh, that's his trademark signature skill. Brilliantly done by Big Joe, who's got a 6th. And now it's 113 to 2-7.
An absolutely brilliant piece of skill. I don't know whether it was going in or out. We didn't get a replay of that, but absolutely brilliant skill. And now we have a game on our hands. You have to say Galway have settled down really now and playing with much more freedom than they did in the first half.
3 between them. Big puck out. Missed there by Larkin. Back go the Galway halfbacks. Tony O'Gregan taking it. About to be blocked there by Richie Power. Coming in as well as Richie Hogan. Standing his ground there firmly as Fergal Moore. Knocked over by Richie Hogan, free out to Galway. And now Galway, as you say, Michael, they really are pumped up, but they're being productive in what they're doing in the second half. They were standing back too much in the first. Tony O'Gregan, a huge one up as far as Damien Hayes. About to be challenged by Jackie Tyrrell. A little hand pass inside here, in as far as Johnny Glynn. played off here, in as far as Niall Burke, running into a lot of Kilkenny players. David Burke, his namesake, in the green helmet, number 10, trying to come in to help. Picked up again by Niall Burke, slipped off there as far as Joe Canning, off the post and back out. How did that stay out? It comes as far as TJ Reid, and it's a huge let off for Kilkenny. Galway with one goal disallowed already, and now Joe Canning has hit the butt of the upright. Henry Shefflin at the other end, 65 metres from the Galway target, picks out a colleague over there. It's young Killian Buckley, the 20-year-old UCD student, who puts it over the bar. First point for him in this final, and Kilkenny fans are much, much happier. They lead once again by 4, but there's a long time to go. We're only in the 13th minute of the second half.
Yeah, Gerard, that's a 4-point swing. What a shot by Joe Cannon, hits the very butt of the post and back out, and Jonathan Glynn, you know, he had time to pick the ball again. He lost possession and the ball down the field, and that's a great score by Killian Buckley, a young player from the middle of the field, and he's done very well today.
Well, there's no time for Galway to feel sorry for themselves. They've got plenty of time to do something about the scoreline. Tommy Welch trying to get the ball out. He was felled after he played it away, and James McGrath goes in quickly, checks with his linesman over there, Barry Kelly, another Westmeath man, to see whether he got a better view of what happened. But there was, I think, a late challenge there on Tommy Welch, and the player is going to be spoken to. It's a red card for Cyril Donlan.
I think the hurl was swung back, and it was Barry Kelly who called it. Now the linesman called it. He was right beside it, but you can see is the JJ Delaney coming off. His head is split here. He's jogging off there, and
let's have a look at it again. 49 minutes in.
Yeah, he swung straight across the head. JJ Delaney was holding him back a bit, and he swung back and hit him. Yeah, and JJ's gone off there with a head injury as well.
So Galway lose a man. They are 4 points behind, and Noel Hickey is going to come on as a temporary sub, I imagine, wearing number 17. So Noel Hickey, one of those hoping to collect a medal here today, which would be his 9th. Watching as Richie Power takes it in his stride and flawlessly glides it over the bar. He's got a goal and 2 points now, Richie, trying to emulate what his dad has done before and pick up yet another All-Ireland medal here. His dad, Richie Senior, was a star in the 80s, and Richie's starring here, and it's 115 to 2-7. It's 15 against 14 as well, of course.
Yeah, that's a great catch, and what a turnaround. You know, the pressure has been on Richie. He hasn't played well since the Dublin game, the first round of the championship, by his huge high standards, but he's having a super game today. And back to Cyril Donlan there, you know, he was frustrated, but you can't just swing the hurl like that across in the head area, and JJ Dane picked up a nasty enough head injury, and I don't think the referee had any choice but to issue the straight red card.
Just remember, he first man to be sent off at an All-Ireland hurling final, I think since 1996, Wexford v Limerick, was it? Benny Dunn was sent off,
yeah, and then
not nice to see Galway having to play the last 21 minutes without the full complement. Richie Power got to stand over this one and take it quickly in as far as Michael Fennelly. From 50 metres out, Michael Fennelly now playing with a lot of confidence, and it's very much advantaged the Cats as they go in search of another All-Ireland, and they lead by 6.
Yeah, Gerard, now both midfielders and all 6 forwards from Kilkenny have all scored from play, you know, which is a huge difference from Galway. Andy Smith has got a point from play, and that's it. You know, 2 goals from David Burke and Freeze, the line ball, and a 65 from Joe Canning, and well, they're just not able to score points from open play.
They'll rue the missed opportunity there where Joe Canning's shot came off the post. They're under pressure here again now with Johnny Cohen going back in difficulty with Richie Hogan there. Cohen in the yellow helmet, Walter Welch, the big man, coming in to help out his number 9, who's playing full forward, and a real pile up there because Fergal Moore's there as well, and the referee is surely going to have to throw the ball in back out of the 20-metre line. How a game can turn around. Kilkenny did most of the hurling in the first half under a lot of pressure in the opening 10 minutes or so of this, but then a goal disallowed, a shot that comes off the post, a man sent off, and now it's very much looking like the Cats. Do Galway have a response? They certainly have the time.
Yeah, well, you'd have to say Kilkenny have been the better team, but as you say, you know, Galway will feel very hard done by over Cyril Donlan's goal, and then Joe Canning hitting the post. You can do nothing about that, and the sending off, you know, it's unfortunate. I feel sorry for Cyril Donlan because he's a very sporting player, but the ref had no choice there, and now look at Kilkenny seem to be just turning the screw now, gone 6 points ahead.
Back once again come Kilkenny. TJ Reid couldn't take it in his stride, but it comes back out here, and that is Walter Welch. He's got 3 points. Well, I was talking to Eddie Kerr yesterday about his debut in a replay back in 1959. He came on as a sub that day, he told me. Walter started, and he's got 3 against Anthony Cunningham's team. And Anthony Cunningham making another change now with Conor Cooney coming on, and the player who's going off is Niall Burke. Scored a goal and 2 points in the last match, Niall Burke. Nothing today. Fergal Flannery tucking it out. Caught here in the middle of the field by Michael Fennelly, on as far as TJ Reid. And Galway needing the next couple of scores here. They need to keep Kilkenny at bay and begin the recovery. David Collins pursued there by Walter Welch. Back it comes once again here to David Collins. Big huge one up there, but that's where Kilkenny have the extra man, and it's Paul Murphy, who has nobody to mark right now, playing it way back down again, taken by the other number 2, Johnny Cohen. Slipping it carefully in here as far as Johnny Glynn. Back into the centre here as far as Joseph Cooney, breaking the challenge there of Tommy Welch. And Cooney, like his dad before him, hitting it in, but not with the same kind of success. His dad will be remembered from the 1990 final. He got a goal and 3 in the first half of that. Absolutely started that match, but Galway didn't win.
Yeah, and look, Ger, it's very hard to see a way back for Galway now. They're 7 points down. As you said, you know, Kilkenny have the luxury now of just leaving Paul Murphy free on the 21, and unless they're able to knock points over from distance, they've no way back into this, and just not able to get those scores. So, you know, you just have to hope that they can in some way get back into it. Kilkenny playing very, very well at the moment.
TJ Reid, Andy Smith's after him, and Smith has caught him, and that's going to be a free in. And straight away Henry Shefflin went over to TJ Reid, clapped him on the back and said, well done. It's another free in. All these important little battles won inch by inch. Kilkenny heading towards victory. And it's interesting today, Michael, that Iarla Tanyan and Andy Smith have not exerted that big influence, in particular Tanyan, that they had 3 weeks ago.
No, they haven't. You know, Brian Cody will be a genius again now. You know, Killian Buckley doing very, very well, and as you mentioned, Walter Walter, what a final he's had, what a debut. You know, to come in an All-Ireland final and it's completely outplayed Johnny Cohen, and you know, but you saw there, that's a silly free for Andy Smith. TJ Reid had no hurl. Tony O'Regan was covering, and give away another point now to Henry Shefflin.
Target practice for Henry with 50 minutes to go, and up and over. 7 points now for Henry Shefflin, the man who is on the threshold of history. He will be the first man to win 9 All-Ireland medals out on the field of play. It's never been done before. They win all of them out on the field of play. Fergal Flannery goes short. Tanyan fumbles. Fortunate to get it back. I thought of Henry Shefflin, but no, the linesman John Sexton thinks otherwise, that it's going to be a line ball to Kilkenny. This will be taken by TJ Reid.
Yeah, it might be a little bit far out. He's actually excellent at these.
Real natural hurler, I always think, TJ Reid. Cuts it well, provides the service inside. Galway there in numbers. Coming out here is Kevin Hines. Hand passed forward as far as Andy Smith. Got a point earlier on. And what a piece of defending that was by Michael Fennelly. Just rejected, just saying to Andy Smith, thus far shalt thou go and absolutely no further. This was brilliantly done by Fennelly. Have a look at this again. Bang, away you go.
Yeah, excellent timing there, and Michael Fennelly a lot stronger there. Still probably not at his best, but a lot better than he was the last time.
This is out again as far as Richie Power. Chasing after him, Damien Hayes trying to hook him. Did enough. Tony O'Gregan from 65 metres out from his own goal. This would be a good point if it goes over. It's a great score. It's his first point in this year's championship, and Tony O'Gregan gets it back to a 7-point difference once again, 118 to 2-8.
Yeah, brilliant score by Tony O'Gregan. You know, again, giving it everything as he always does for Galway, but
Joe Canning
they're going to need a couple of goals if they're going to win this game.
Well, they got 2 in the first half, not able to add to it in the second, although they come very, very close. Tommy Walsh much happier there in a conventional right half-back position. Once Kilkenny went into the more traditional lineup, they had the measure of Galway in this particular game so far. Still time. Jackie Tyrrell, poor ball from Galway, gives Kilkenny a chance to counter-attack, and it is Owen Larkin placing this one down beautifully into the hand of Richie Power, and that's nicely over the bar. It was the quality of the ball coming out to Richie Hogan, and Richie Hogan took it into his hand, turned beautifully and put it over. Again, pressure on the Kilkenny backs, and it's Noel Hickey now reveling in the opportunity to get an opportunity to shine in this. He played in the Leinster final also against Galway, lost his place after that. Tony O'Gregan back once more. Damien Hayes tussling, and a real pile up there involving Killian Buckley in the red helmet as he tries to kick it forward. Richie Power this time stepped out over the sideline. Ball was in play clearly. It's Richie Hogan, man who got that last point across towards Henry Shefflin, runs on to TJ Reid. Very awkward angle here, trying to make a better angle for himself. Cohen's in front of him, and that time it comes back, but it's put in the back of the net brilliantly, and that should be that. Walter Welch, his first ever goal in the championship, coming here in the final. He makes it 2-19 to 2-8. A goal after 58 minutes, a goal and 3 for Big Walter, and a great day for Kilkenny. TJ Reid initially turning inside Johnny Cohen, and watch as Flannery, the goalkeeper, got his stick to it, batted it out, only for Big Walter Welch to be right on hand and place it in the back of the Galway net. 11 points between the teams.
Yeah, Gerard, you'd have to say, you know, good save again by Fergal Flannery, but didn't get the ball away. And what a debut for Walter Walsh, you know, and then the Kilkenny full forward line in general. 1-3 for Walter Walsh, 3 points for Richie Hogan, and the two of them have been absolutely outstanding.
And Walter Welsh is going off to a huge round of applause. Listen to this. A young star has come of age here. Colin Fennelly comes in his stead. There's a free to Kilkenny, and it is party time for Henry and the rest, even though he puts this one wide. But they have a lead of 2-19 to 2-8.
It's obviously very hard to keep Brian Cody happy. I know he's only bringing on Colin Fennelly. You know, he's been on the team all year. But Walter Walsh, 1-3, what a game he's after having and making way now. And Colin Fennelly's going to be hungry now to get his name on the score sheet as well.
As David Collins, who'll be bitterly disappointed with the way things have gone, was carrying that through, but there were too many steps taken, and it's going to be a free. Downfield, I'm sure people all over the world fascinated by what they are seeing in today's match, and I know Jerry Grogan, who's our PA announcer here, has son Diarmid watching in Shanghai with his girlfriend Liz, and wherever you are around the world, in particular I suppose if you're Kilkenny fans, you are enjoying it. Tony O'Gregan got the last yellow card as this free comes in, and this one goes over the bar. They can do absolutely nothing wrong at this stage. And Kieran Joyce, the one who got that point, his first ever in the championship. 2-20 to 2-8. What a disappointing day it is for Galway. I think the question I posed at the very beginning, do you get just one shot at a team like Kilkenny?
Well, certainly a completely different game today, a different attitude from Kilkenny from the start. Went back to the basics, traditional style, just marked the space in the back line, picked up the man that came around them, and just been brilliant from the start.
They're coming again, but this time it's a lovely catch under pressure by Fergal Moore, the captain. Back into the forwards it goes, beyond Kieran Joyce, runs on towards Joe Canning. Well, Galway fans would have wished him to spend more of the game in at full forward, where he might have been more of a threat, but he's been out working, busy. The ball hasn't come in, and Kilkenny have been relatively comfortable during the second half. Back out again it comes here to Joseph Cooney, and he was fouled, and it's going to be a free to Galway late in the match. We're in the 61st minute, as you can see.
Yeah, John, you were mentioning a few people overseas. Two Maynooth College students, Mark Power from Kildare and Sam Hart from Wexford. They're watching the match in Tucson, Arizona. It's great that people can tune into the match all over the world.
And that is put in there by Tony O'Gregan, but collected back down there by Kieran Joyce. Puts his head down, gets it away smartly. Out as far as TJ Reid, comes back in here once again. Andy Smith trying to cause a little bit of consternation for the Kilkenny backs, but Galway players almost doing it like individuals at this stage. The greater measurement is coming from Kilkenny. It's a measured approach all the way from Killian Buckley in there as far as the substitute, and Colin Fennelly announces his return by putting it in the back of the Galway net. Goal number 3 for Kilkenny, and now they are simply routing Galway. He's not on too long, Colin Fennelly. but he's got another goal here, and the manager is happy. 62 minutes in.
Well, Brian Cody is going to be thrilled. You know, he got it bang on today. Walter Walsh and Johnny Cohen did his job, took him off, and Colin Fennelly coming on, obviously very disappointed not to be playing. Hungry, you know, when the game maybe well won, but you know, used his strength there, held off the defender, and you know, one-handed into the back of the net, and really, you know, it's so one-sided now, and Galway really, you know, had their chances the last day.
Some of the fans leaving, 33 coming back on for Kilkenny. I think that is JJ Delaney, isn't it? Wearing number 33.
Yeah, he's back on there.
And Noel Hickey, presumably, is the one who has made way. But that was a temporary sub anyway. I noticed that Davy Glennon's waiting for his opportunity to come back in, the man who rescued Galway in many respects by getting that free off Jackie Tyrrell on the drawn game right late in the match in extra time. Right now it's a case of Galway trying to put a bit more respectability on the final scoreline. Joe Canning leaving it off here. Damien Hayes couldn't take it. Back out came Andy Smith, but the challenges are coming in strong and vigorously now from the likes of Jackie Tyrrell. That time a little bit too vigorously. But Kilkenny will be absolutely delighted with this. It's a small county, relatively speaking. There are only 12 senior clubs in Kilkenny, but my goodness, how they do the business time and again. So Davy Glennon is the one who comes on, and the player going off is Andy Smith. Well, he gets a chance to play in the final once again, Davy Glennon, but he's coming on late at this stage to try and rescue it with the full 15 points between the teams. And that is reduced by 1 thanks to Joe Canning, his 7th point of this final.
But Jared, just shows you, you know, the backdoor system is here to stay. Kilkenny well beaten in the Leinster final, and looked dead and buried, and back they've come through. The system is there for them. Looked spooked the last day against Galway. Took them an awful long time to settle, but they finished very strongly the last day. They brought that straight to the game today, and you know, really it's just turned into a rout now at this stage.
Well, it's their 6th championship match. I'm reminded that when you won in 1998, also coming through the back door for Offaly, you played 8 matches that year. Galway trying to set up another late chance, and that one's run on and on and on, and it's gone wide. The backdoor winners of the McCarthy Cup so far, as we see TJ Reid receive some attention, have included Offaly and of course Cork in 2004 and Tip some 2 years ago.
Yeah, it's brilliant for, I think, for the county players. You see TJ Reid now, Earl Tanyan there, a bit of a stroke when he's gone out past him, and he's been involved in a lot of stuff today, Earl Tanyan, and not as influential in the game. You know, he had a super game the last day, but Killian Buckley has won that battle today.
Did get an injury right at the very beginning. You might remember Dr. Dan Murphy was on to attend to him. Not sure if that affected his performance in any way. I doubt it, because Kilkenny have been absolutely overwhelming masters. And there is number 17, Noel Hickey, coming back in here. And Kieran Joyce is the one who makes way on this occasion. He played well, Kieran, and I think it's Brian Cody's way of saying to all of the panel, insofar as he can, go out there and enjoy the last few minutes.
Yeah, what a servant Noel Hickey has been to Kilkenny over the years, and you know, to stick with it. A player with 8 All-Ireland medals, not getting on the team, but he stuck with it all year. Played in the Leinster final this year, and now he's coming on here now also to win his 9th All-Ireland. Obviously didn't start them all, but an absolutely brilliant full-back over the years.
Jackie Tyrrell waited. This time stepping in is Johnny Glynn. What about that? Galway want to finish with a flourish. They may be beaten, but they're not completely and absolutely down, and they have young stars to look ahead to at future years, like 19-year-old Jonathan Glynn, and this was a fair old rasper, and that is the 6th goal of this final.
Yeah, Ger, that's a brilliant goal. You know, showed great footwork first of all, sidestepped Paul Murphy as if he wasn't there, and then, you know, to hang one up in the top of the net like that, great goal. And he is a very, very good player, very good in the air, and he's definitely going to have a huge career ahead of him.
TJ Reid, I think, is the one who's in injury difficulty, and Aidan Fogarty has come on in his stead. Here's Paul Murphy. Not a good clearance, only there as far as Conor Cooney. Back to Murphy again, tidy as ever. Even when they're winning by a wide old margin, he's still doing the simple things effectively. And there was Taggy Fogarty in towards the end of that one, anxious to try and get a goal like Colin Fennelly did earlier on. And they would have been particularly annoyed, wounded by the fact that they were left out of the side Well, Taggy is a great player, and what a vital servant for Kilkenny hurling he has been. 320 to 3-9, so high scoring. Who would have expected it to be quite this? Henry Shefflin ready to hit this one, and he puts it straight over. Henry's got 8. So tonight, of course, you can see the celebrations at the Victory Hotel, and that's in the Sunday game. It's at 9:30 on RTE2. Lots to look forward to there with Des Cahill. Before all of that, on radio on RTE1, Brian Carty's on air at 6 with his championship look back, and Damien O'Reilly at 7 o'clock on RTE1. Chance for you to air your views. Fergal Flannery's in difficulty because Aidan Fogarty has stolen it from him. The referee's whistle has signalled, and it's going to be a free in. And they're still causing problems, and they still are looking for more, Kilkenny.
Well, see, the hunger is still there. Aidan Fogarty would not be happy. A very, very, tough competitor. Wouldn't be happy to be left off the team. Had a great semi-final. Was no better or worse than a lot of them in the final. But he had to make way, and to have him and Colin Fennelly coming in mad hungry. And Jared, just want to say a very special hello to a young man in Kildare, Jason Dowling, Kyle Dovey, a great young hurler. He's very unwell at the moment. Just a man in his early 30s, and he's gone into the hospice in Kildare last Friday. I was up with him a couple of weeks ago there, and look, just to wish him all the best. He's a huge hurling fan. I know he'll be watching today, and Jason, we're all thinking of you.
Certainly are. And Henry Shefflin's got a 9th, and there is the Liam McCarthy Cup, the big trophy in this wonderful sport of ours. And Kilkenny will be getting their hands on it very, very shortly, in spite of the best efforts of Joseph Cooney there, just to try and delay the inevitable. But we're in the 69th minute. Galway, I suppose, had their chance early stages in the second half when his team saw a goal chalked off by the referee, James McGrath, and then when Joe Canning hit a post shortly after that, and Galway a little later went down to 14 players. Since then, it's looked good for Kilkenny, for David Herity, even though he has conceded 3 goals here this afternoon. Overall, a winning performance by Kilkenny as we head towards the 70-minute point.
I think you're right there, Jerry. It doesn't tell the full picture. If that goal was allowed, and if Joe Canning's goal had hit the post, you can't. It looks so comfortable now for Kilkenny, and we had to send it off as well. It really went away from Galway in that few minutes spell, but that's how ruthless Kilkenny are. When they get on top, they just put you away. And it's been a very, very, very good team performance by all the Kilkenny players. You can't really say any of them played badly. Walter Walsh taken off after scoring 1-3. Kieran Joyce had a very, very solid game. He was the other man taken off, and they've been very, very good. Every one of them have been very good.
Richie Power now from the angle, shooting this one, but shooting it in towards Hill 16 and away to the left-hand side. And he's missed the opportunity. 1 minute of added time is going to be played now. So for Galway, a bitter disappointment once again. Yet another final loss for them. This is David Burke, got the 2 goals earlier on, and that is Joe Canning, and he puts it over the bar. He's got 8 points in this final. Not enough. So
that's the first point from
31
play,
to 19.
First point from play from a Galway forward in injury time, and that's really the story of the game.
Galway will now have, how about that? That's just gone to the right. Galway will now have lost some 10 finals of 14 played since 1975. Quite a poor record. They're going again here with Conor Cooney. Back up in here towards their goal scorer Johnny Glynn in the second half. And certainly he's a name to look out for. He was stretching out with his right hip that time. Shot comes straight back as far as Paul Murphy. Referee has been looking at his watch. Only a few seconds to go now before the celebrations can begin for Kilkenny. Galway finishing with Damien Hayes here, trying to set up another chance for Joe Canning, and that one has gone over the bar brilliantly from play this time. He's got 9 points in this final, but it's the final whistle, and Kilkenny are the winners, the masters here. 11 points between the teams at the end. Kilkenny once again the All-Ireland champions, and another triumph for Brian Cody. And there you see Henry Shefflin, first man to win 9 All-Ireland medals out on the field of play, and that McCarthy Cup going back down to Kilkenny tomorrow night. They've all played their part. Tommy Welsh there jumping for joy. the honours stacking up really for this, the greatest hurling team that we've been privileged to see. That's 9 All-Ireland wins now for Brian Cody in 14 years. 9 medals on the field of play for this man, one of the greatest ever, Henry Shefflin. Joined on that mark, of course, today by Noel Hickey as well, who came on and played a part. And they joined former goalkeeper Noel Skehan, who also has 9 medals. A day of bitter disappointment for Galway. Well, they knew all along that trying to beat Kilkenny twice in the one championship season was going to be a big, big ask. He got 9 points, Joe Canning. He held his nerve in the draw match and took it to a replay. But it's been all about Kilkenny from the time Galway went down to 14 players after 49 minutes when Cyril Donlan was dismissed for a straight red card. 6 wins for Kilkenny in the last 7 years. An amazing record, and it is party time once again for Kilkenny and their hurlers. Another magnificent triumph for Brian Cody and the management team. Well, 3 men now sharing 9 All-Ireland medals. Noel Skehan, the goalkeeper, won a couple of those as a substitute, many on the field as well, but Henry Shefflin's the first one to win all 9 on the field of play. And a great day for Walter Walsh here. Here he is. Tremendous performance, really. Plays for Tullogher Ross Birkin, a UCD student, and he comes on, makes his debut in this replay and scores a goal and 3 points.
Yeah, that's what dreams are made of, Gerard. You know, Brian Cody, you know, if these things don't work out, it was a huge gamble in some people's books, but I didn't feel it was, because he was leaving his options open. He had Colin Fennelly and Aidan Fogarty to come in, but that was a huge part, I think, of the win of this game. Walter Walsh kept Johnny Cohen completely out of the game. Now, you don't normally have to keep cornerbacks out of the game, but Johnny Cohen has been so influential and setting up so many of the Galway moves. Brian Cody pinpointed him, put Walter Walsh on him to win possession, and he ended up scoring 1-3 as well. So that worked hugely. And you see Henry Shefflin there again, you know, Brian Cody, Henry Shefflin, they're joined at the hip since '99. Henry Shefflin has started every championship match since 1999 for Kilkenny. It's incredible.
But that's 62
championship matches.
Yeah.
He's had 2 cruciate ligaments. He's had a serious shoulder injury. He's come back from them all, and he's here now. He's here in the middle of the field being interviewed.
Let's hear Henry.
For my family at home, you know, to be the only man in Ireland, myself and Noel Hickey today, to win 9 All-Ireland medals, it's absolutely special, and absolutely thrilled.
And once again, you led from the front, and a terrific performance from all of the Kilkenny forwards today.
Yeah, I think we knew the last time we didn't work hard enough, and that was one of the things we've won our Irelands down through the years, the work rate, and I think today the lads just upped it completely, and we knew, because Galways are after putting up to us twice this year already, and we knew it had to be a big performance out of us, so we're absolutely thrilled the way it went, and you know, I suppose there were some question marks hanging over us, and I think we answered them today.
Terrific performance. Congratulations, Henry.
Thanks very much, Claire. Thank you.
Well, he's one of the greatest sportsmen I think I've ever seen. Arguably the greatest player of his generation, and so Kilkenny now come up the steps here to take that McCarthy Cup back with him. Rackard Cody there, the kit manager, very, very popular figure. The fans have had a great day out, and Brian Cody, as a player, he won 4 All-Ireland medals himself, but as a coach and as a manager, his record is unparalleled and unlikely to be ever succeeded. Heaven help anybody who replaces Brian Cody.
Agus Kilkenny, as an Clare, Brad, Breeders, Portugal, a Hugger doing and showing you. Boalam Coroni and of the Galway, Biblian Untakapo, Godium Pinch showing you. Agus Tasulagum, to make thoroughly far, a good Ibra, and Caderella of exit and shot. Boalam Trace Lou O'Cree, the Kilkenny. Shot Law Untak, the Kilkenny, Agus Law Untak, the Mind. Bolam Trace Lou O'Cree, the Farawine, agus an Neo Crave, Ega and you. Cogordigus Henry, as an Ea Kimra to Lady Got and you. Bolam Wigus the Ball, the Guinness, Centra, agus Etihad, as an Oriak to Huggan Shield, and Crave Shaw. Agus is Cooch Ohish, agus an Ora Dominish. Corn Averna, our own Larkin, Captain Kilkenny, Hogardacus Kilkenny.
Liam O'Neill, GAA President, handing over the Liam McCarthy Cup to Owen Larkin of James Stephens, Captain of Kilkenny, Champions of Ireland, All-Ireland winners 2012. Celebration time. Very, very popular captain Owen Larkin. Had a great game in the league final when they won that back in May, and now he's captained the team in the replay to win the championship.
Hútarán na hair, Hútarán Conalú Glasgow, a Gwini Usla, agus a Carja. Is he Clark and Lawshaw, Dov Winter Kilkenny Galair. Neil Misha, Augie Glocka, and Cornshaw, her son, Mutar Kilkenny. Cowan weakest, the got dinner, a cowering dinner, corn a book in Darishan Lena. It's a great honour and I stand up here and collect this cup on behalf of these Kilkenny players. We've had great times in the past, and today is another chapter in that story. Before I go any further, I want to mention one man. This man has suffered more than most at the hands of injuries, and still he comes back. If you're looking for a role model for dedication, for leadership, for hurling skill, this is the man you'd pick. That man is Michael Rice. As you know, success doesn't come easy, and there's a lot of people we have to thank for that. First of all, I'd like to thank our sponsors, Avonmore, Glambia. They've been fantastic over the last number of years, and again this year was no different. Thanks a million. I'd like to thank our own Fogarty, has been a revelation in Kilkenny since he came on board. I think they're now calling him Statso. Thanks a million, Martin. And to Mick Dempsey, our physical trainer. I think he has to be regarded as one of the best trainers in Ireland at this present time. Thanks a million, Mick. And on to the next man. Well, what can you say? The only record we want to know is 9 All-Ireland senior hurling titles for Kilkenny. Thanks a million, Brian Cody. Lastly, I'd like to thank Galway. It was a great sporting game. You've come on an awful lot over the year and you've took your first Leinster title. I have no doubt you'll be back again. 3 cheers for Galway. Hip hip. Hip hip. Hip hip. One more thing. Ladies and gentlemen of Kilkenny, Lee McCarthy is coming home to the North once more.
From this week, a little duet. So Kilkenny take the trophy once again, and it's a Kilkenny team that has never won an All, well, only once ever have they won an All-Ireland without scoring a goal during the course of the championship. That was back in 1947, but today there were goals.
Yeah, there was indeed. There There was indeed, Jared, 3 goals today, and you know, maybe not of the most classic goals we've ever seen from Kilkenny, but you know, you have to think of Galway as well, Jared. What a year they've had. Won the first ever Leinster Championship, historic. They played some brilliant hurling all year, and you know, you feel sorry. Here's the first goal, good save by James Scale, and Richie Power, predator there, you know, just in on the ball, quickly adjusted there and one-handed. And again here, another ball being blocked out, this time by Fergal Flannery, and again Walter Walsh coming in this time. And that, you know, young lads at home watching, that's what you do. You follow in every ball, you wait for it to break out for you, and then Colin Flannery. It's amazing how similar the 3 goals were. They were all just sort of tap-ins from 5 or 6 yards, one-handed, 2 of them, and that's what Kilkenny do. But you know, I was just saying about Galway there, Jared, you know, they've really brightened up this championship. It's terrible for them to be beaten like that. You take Joe Cannon, you could see it in his face there. You know, to have such a year, to score 1-9 the last 9 points today, and to be beaten like that in an Ireland final. But you know, they have, as I said, produced some brilliant hurling, some great sportsmen on their team, and they will be back. And I'm not patronising them. I think Anthony Cunningham has brought a different attitude to them. You know, there's a harder edge about them this year. But at the end of the day, it's all about Kilkenny, and there's Richie Power now. I don't know if that's his own young lad. I don't know much about it.
It looks like another generation of Powers to me.
It looks like another Power, all right. Yeah, there's a lot of them down there. Young John coming as well, the under-21s. And I had a cup of coffee with Richie Senior the other morning, and he was nervous about the game. You know, Galway really spooked him this year, but fantastic display by Kilkenny, and well done.
Yes, Kilkenny the champions. Thank you, Michael. Final score, it's Kilkenny 3 goals and 22 points. Galway 3 goals and 11. Victory for Kilkenny. Michael.
And your commentators on today's All-Ireland Hurling final replay were Ger Canning and Michael Duignan. In front of an attendance today, this final, by the way, of 82,274. Liam Sheedy, Ger Loughnan and Tomás Mulcahy here with me in studio as we watch the victory celebrations. Liam Sheedy, midway through that second half, as Kilkenny were beginning to get into their gear and running riot, you said to me, no doubt, there's some team, as you know.
Yeah, as I know well, they are some team. I thought, you know, right throughout this game, they were very, very strong today, right throughout. You know, they scored 1-11 in the first half, 2-11 in the second half, right throughout. You know, they were just on top in every sector. And, you know, I know the lads felt that Galway had a chance at half-time, but I did fear for Galway because I just felt looking out that every player in the Kilkenny position looked to be on top of their game. They were winning 13, 14 out of 15 positions, and it was going to be really hard to turn around. And in fairness to Galway, you know, created a chance or two, were unlucky, you know, could have got it back to a point. If they did, maybe who knows what would have happened. But you just have to credit. I mean, they're the best team I've ever seen to play this game of hurling. You know, they're after winning 6 of the last 7, 9 of the last 13. They're amazing champions. They do it year in, year out. To Brian Cody, to all of the Kilkenny players, they deserve huge credit. I mean, they've taken this game over the last number of years to a new level, and they've challenged every other county to get up there with them. And at the moment, let's be honest about it, people are struggling to get to their level.
They've won so much down through the years, Ger Loughnan, the players, and Kilkenny as a county, that, you know, you've been trying to say to yourself, maybe we've done enough, and yet they come bounce back here today and clinch that All-Ireland.
Well, you know, I was thinking back there to the autumn of 1998, which is a long time ago, and I heard that Brian Cody was appointed manager of Kilkenny. You know, I was still involved with Clare at that time, and the one comment I had was, we're all in trouble now. I didn't realise that we'd be in this kind of trouble, that it would lead to 9 All-Irelands. You know, it is just, it's just exceptional what they have done. And the hunger they have maintained over the year, the desire to win, the enjoyment they get out of winning. Look at Brian Cody's face at the end of the game there after 9 All-Ireland. Look at the enjoyment he gets out of it, the enjoyment all the players get out of it. And we have to salute Henry Shefflin. Has started every one of those games.
Michael Rice
missed out today. But you know, you always a player injured like that, you know, he can make a big contribution behind the scenes as well. But going back to Henry, he has started every game every championship game since 1999. Never missed one. In the meantime, he went through 3 career, potentially career injuries. And here he's back with his 9th All-Ireland, the only man who has won 9 All-Irelands on the field. A unique place in history for a unique man, a unique manager that has won 9 All-Irelands. No other GA manager has ever won that. But as well as that, a unique team. You know, that's built. He built 2 teams really. He had a team up to 2006, and he took a new team from 2006 on to now. And still, the only danger to them is a bit of complacency. If you can get them on a complacent day, you have a chance. But when they're on fire, when they have that fire in the belly that they had today, you just cannot stop them. No fault to Galway. They targeted the weak areas in Galway today. They took advantage of them. Game over.
We talk about what Kilkenny have won. We've talked about the All-Ireland medals that Henry Shefflin have won, as though this is something sort of that there's a kind of a wrap around. Not necessarily so, as they say.
No, but like you'd be hoping now that Brian Cody maybe would take time out, maybe to be cutting the lawn, or maybe take up a bit of golf, or maybe train Kilkenny footballers for a change or something like that. Because I mean, this is never-ending stuff. Look, and we have to say, maybe they're probably hated around the country at this stage. Maybe the people despise them now because they're winning too much. But look, you've got to take your hat off. I mean, they're just unbelievable. And we go back to the last match, the first day, right? You're talking about Henry Shefflin. Henry Shefflin was the man that kept them in the game to get them to where they are today. And it's just fitting that he does get his 9th medal. He's a gentleman on the field, he's a gentleman off the field, and he is a great ambassador for hurling throughout Kilkenny, but throughout Ireland as well, you know. But it doesn't come from him alone. No. I mean, you take their defenders today. We said before the match, where they go man marking, they stayed in their positions today, and they said to Galway, if you want to come at us or you want to move away from us, somebody else will pick you up. And to a man, they were